Hello beautiful people and welcome to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into this really fun tutorial where I made this really cozy warm coat. It is my first time making something like this, so there are things that can be improved on, but basically this is your chance to learn from my mistakes and to go ahead and make your own coat. If you want to see more images, pictures, content, just follow me on my Instagram at @kdeco. But yeah, let's get right into it. First, you will need some Sherpa material. As you can see, this is as warm and as cozy as it looks. And next, you are also going to get some lining in the same color as the Sherpa, or at least a nice contrasting color. Get about 3 meters each. I think I got about 2.5 and that wasn't enough. Now, following the pattern of a coat that you have, this is what the back piece will look like. I cut 2, but you can cut 1. And this here is the front piece. You'll need 2 of these pieces, and you can see the front is slightly extended, and that's going to form the lapel. Then you'll need 2 sleeve pieces. I used a peg just to mark the front of the sleeve, and I also put a notch in the middle of the sleeve so that I know where the middle is. Now take your 2 back pieces, lay them right sides touching, and sew it all the way down the middle. Once that is sewn, open your back piece up and lay your front pieces on top of your back piece, right sides facing, and sew it down on the shoulder seam. Once that is done, take your sleeve and pin it to your front and back pieces by the opening, making sure that the middle of your sleeve is aligned to the notch that you made, and also that the part that you marked with the peg on the sleeve is aligned to the front of your jacket. I'm just showing you how to do this on the one side, but you're gonna go ahead and do it on both sides. Once that is done, take your armpit seam and pin that together, and you're going to sew down the sleeve as well as the side seam of your coat. And this is the first draft of the coat. Make sure that you fit it on at this point to see what you want to take in. I am going to take in my sleeve just a little bit, and this next part I actually regret doing. I wish I didn't take in that part of the coat a bit, just so that there's more space to have like the fold over effect of a coat, but it ended up working at the end. But this is essentially what it's going to look like. Now make sure that you do the same for the lining. The only difference is that lapel, because you know on your coat when the lapel flips over, of course you don't want to see lining, but you want to see the actual Sherpa material. I have also added some material because I was running out of fabric, but this is what your lining piece will look like. Next, cut 2 rectangular pieces that you're going to use for your collar, and take each of the pieces and sew it onto your front and back seams. No, front and back seam? These are not the front and back, what is it? The front and back part of your jacket. Pin it down, and you are going to sew it all across the top, making sure that you leave about ½ an inch seam allowance at the end. And the only reason why I reference inches is because my sewing machine uses inches, so it just makes it easier. Now this is what your jacket looks like from the back. You want to lay the lining on top of it, right sides facing, and you are going to sew the top of the collar and the side seams. Once that's done, I close the collar piece. Honestly, I think I could have done it in one go. I just saw a video where the lady did the collar piece as I'm showing you here. So I think just to be safe, I decided to follow her method, but you want to close off that piece that is open in your collar and lapel. Now the moment of truth where you actually see your coat coming to life. Flip that bad boy inside out, and this is what your coat is going to look like. And this is what the coat looks like on the second try. As you can see, the collar / lapel situation does not look cute. And I think that's because of the amount that I cut right at the beginning. But that's fine. I ended up fixing it later, as you'll see. As you can see here, I hand stitched the one part of the collar to the lapel, and it looks a bit more what you would expect it to look like. I still have to do the other side in this clip. I also added some pockets, some space to put a belt, and I also added some lining as well because I sort of cut the lining a bit shorter than the actual Sherpa. Doesn't look the neatest, but at least the lining is on the inside.